Okay, it is time to tackle the monster daily notes thing. So buckle up. There's a lot of. Okay, honestly, I'm so incredibly proud of this database, but it is extremely complex and probably nobody would be able to use it. But if you're interested in using it, let me show you how. So there are two sections to this. Technically, three, but the first two are the actually important ones. So the first one, I really like having a setup for every day, like a page for every day, not just the action tracker. Um, Let me clarify. I like that when I'm actually working. Right now, I don't use this because it's summer and I'm just kind of tracking random actions. I'm not really like sitting down and working a full day that often, if ever. So I don't need to set up this whole day, but let me show you what it looks like anyway. But you can use it or not use it. Delete this if you don't want it, essentially. So this is database, and let me actually show you. Every day I would go in and add a template for today. So let me show you what that looks like, and I'll open it as a page. And I'll keep this page open. Basically what I'll do is I'll pin this tab. So I've created a keyboard shortcut for myself to pin tabs, Command Option Control P, but I forget how I set up keyboard shortcuts. I've set up a million keyboard shortcuts on my computer. But another thing you can do is that word would normally be pin, so you'd pin it. And that way it doesn't get deleted, it's always there, and it's small so that you can always have it throughout the day so you can go back to it. And I wanted to keep the number of properties to a minimum, but also like have them provide information. So I would name this Monday, July, it's Wednesday, July, what is it, 30th? And then the date should have automatically been today, but it wasn't. That's fine. There's another way that you can make it that way. Actually, let me show you. If you click new here instead of the down button, it will automatically fill in with today's date, but then you need to go in and click this today, and then you can have the template as well as the automatic date. Let me go back. Okay, so this, if you saw the like less complex version of daily notes, this is my version of like the plan. So where I'm going, when I'm going, where I'm having lunch, etc. Basically reduces cognitive load immediately when you start your day, so that you can just dive into the big projects without deciding where you're going. I swear I spend an hour deciding where I'm going if I don't know where I'm going. So this just cuts down on a lot of time, and I'll fill this out the night before. So usually I'll click this the night before and set this up for the next day, but it shouldn't be that like big a deal if you do it the day of. So let's say I'm going to the library, lunch with Nadav, and meeting with Sam at and you don't actually need to fill it. Like I like putting in the meetings just so that I'm aware of them so that I don't forget, because even if I have reminders, I'll forget. Again, I have an extension that shows me when my next meeting is, who it's with, etc. So this tells me I have a meeting today in 2 hours. And then it'll fill in the date. I'll take any notes if I have any during the day, but I usually don't. And then I'll fill in the main project that I'm working on. So today, my main project would be Notion tutorials, which is what I'm making today, but that's obviously not on this example thing. But let's say, and I'll only pick like parent projects, and this is pretty hectic because it's not sorted or anything, but you can find parent projects here. So let's say I wanted to work on this parent project, which is moving to Berlin. So that's my main project of today. Notes might be like thought of way to solve the theory of everything. And then at the end of the day, I might put in the day went great or the day was a piece of shit. So that's some simple stuff. And then I really like having these beginning of day, end of day check-in. It just really sets me up. I love it. Maybe I'm super basic because of that. I don't know. But I'll read over the plan that I have for the day. I'll check in with myself, how I'm feeling physically, emotionally. You can change these questions. You can get rid of these questions. You can get rid of the check-in. You can have the check-in. This whole check-in is the reason why I have this separate database for daily actions. Otherwise, really all this is just the action template, which is just a linked version of that. So linked and filtered version of that to just show you what's going on today. So otherwise, if you don't have this, you probably don't need this whole database. But I like having this, would suggest it to others. It's great. Gets you set up. And then I'll also have like, oh, I should get rid of this because this is not the other template, but basically I'll have, if I'm learning a language, I'll have like sentences of the day that I want to write down, as well as like the vocabulary words of the day that I need to review. Delete that. You can check out the language learning template also, but this is, yeah, I have to fix that. But basically this doesn't matter to you guys. And then at the end of the day, I'll also have more check-ins. So I'll go over any of the small to-dos that I wrote down during the day. So here I'll have like quick actions, which is like respond to mom, like just really quick things that I don't want to make another page for, because that would be annoying. And so I'll go over quick to-dos. I'll check my calendar for tomorrow, check the weather, see where I want to go, fill in any actions. So I'll go down here, I'll say, what didn't I finish today? I'll change the date to make it tomorrow. Usually I filter this to just date is today, but I don't have any thing to show here for today just because it's all examples and they all have different dates. But usually you'd have like, let's say, a few actions, and whichever ones I didn't finish, I would push off the date to tomorrow. And that way tomorrow when I log on, it will automatically show me those actions. I don't have to do anything. So that's kind of what that means, but there's really not much involved in this. Create a plan. I used to get freaked out if my plan didn't go exactly according. So I wrote a little note now, I'll get rid of that. Plan about where I'm going. Again, reduce cognitive load in the morning. I'll look over the news, try and get a general vibe, which is why Fox is there. I'll like check my people calendar. So go to the people template, the people tracker template. And if there are any professional like emails that I need to write, I'll just like note down, and either I'll like draft some really quickly, or I'll just note that I have to do that and add an action to the action tracker. Check emails, Messenger for urgent things. If they aren't urgent, then I'll just like put it off. Play Duolingo, or like, actually I can get rid of that, but like any kind of language learning, and then meditate. And again, a check-in, this is where I would add how it went. And then if you're using the daily expenses and the habit tracker, what I would do also at the end of the day is you just add new expenses and they'll automatically add the date as today. Same with the habit tracker. So let's say today is Wednesday, July 19th, or where it's not July 19th, but whatever. I'll just say the day, but that doesn't really matter. It's just because it needs a title. So you can really put in anything. You can just put in Wednesday, but the date is here and it automatically fills in. And then did I do habit 1? Did I do habit 2? Any notes? How many water bottles did I have, etc. I don't use this. Yeah, so if you want to use it, I put it there just to have it. It's all it is from Notion. It's straight from Notion. I don't think I added really anything to it. Might have added like 1 or 2 things, but then you can check out the habit tracker itself and look at the video tutorial about how that works. Daily expenses are like expense lunch, amount $3, category. If we actually open it, you can automatically put in food, and it will fill in like everything else. So what you want to do is fill in the name, the amount, and then open it up and write the category, and it will automatically fill in the rest of it, and any comments if you need. And so if I had a bunch of expenses, then I will add all of those filling out their categories, and that will roll up to the budget, and you can see the video tutorial there. So that's it for check-ins. And then we have the master action tracker. And this view is just to show you what you have today. It's not to show you the full thing. You can also change the template of this whole thing by going back to the main database, going into here, editing, and you can update it here. So for example, I'll take out that word. I will take out the German thing so that, yeah, because it shouldn't be there, I'll take out my little name thing to myself. And that's just generally like ways how you edit this. If you want to have every day, you want to have a different, you want to also be able to look at, for example, you want to just look at parent projects, then we'll add a filter and we'll say type contains parent. I think it needs to be capitalized, which is annoying. And that way you can just like see what parent projects are happening, etc. So that's that. And now we can go back to the master action tracker and we'll tackle that monster. I'm actually going to open it up as its own page. Oh my god, I'm tired of talking. Okay, so here is how this pretty insane, dare I say, masterpiece works. So every page is an action. And usually I don't use the template. I don't really fill anything out here because usually that work is somewhere else. I can show you an example of where that wouldn't be true. So this is my actual action tracker, and what I'm doing today is making Notion tutorials, so the date actually should be today. And I filled out all this information, which I'll go over. And this is just a list of tutorials that I want to have. And so I can say simple, complex, and I already did simple, and I'm working on complex. So I'll just check those off. And that's really the most that I'll use that for. If you actually need to take notes, they're usually somewhere else. So back to the thing, but really quickly I'll show you I have some templates, and what I'll do with these templates is I'll just have links to the things that are most important to those areas. So if it's school template, the only difference between the other templates is the links that are up here. I'll show you another one. For example, the professional action template has the links to the career, home, template, jobs, and applications, etc. Okay, let's get into the monster properties situation. Okay, I'll try not to get too much into the details of how all of these different formulas work, but basically there are a bunch of different formulas that are very finicky, so don't change anything. If you're want to change something and want help, let me know, but they all rely on each other. And any small change, like if I went in and changed subtask and got rid of this space, like that could fuck up everything else. So yeah, don't do that. Same with like going in and adding or changing the emojis. So if you hate the emojis, you're gonna have to go in and every place that a formula calls upon that things. So for example, completed hours calls upon, it says if it says started, if you change the like emoji or whatnot, it will not, this won't work because this won't exist. Okay, so I'll go over the first things that you need to fill in. So every time that you add something, fill in the importance, fill in the date that you want to do it by. If there is no date, it's just like something that you should do in the future. Don't fill in a date. That will also work its way to a priority. Fill in the status, keep the status updated, and fill in the number of hours. Those are the things that you need for everything else to fill in correctly. Also, if there are any subtasks or parent tasks. So things that you need to fill out. Importance, dates or not, if you don't have a date, status, hours, and subtasks or parent tasks. By the way, if you change the emojis on these, it will automatically update in each of the formulas, so you can change the names of these and their emojis. Okay, so those are the things you need to fill out, and everything else will automatically fill itself out. The priority will be either prioritize this right now, it'll be you have to do this, plan for a rainy day, or shit or get off the pot. You can change the spacing in that. And shit or get off the pot is just my way of saying like do it or don't do it. It basically means the due date is very soon. So either you do it or you don't do it, but like that's it. Also for a rainy day. So just like a to-do that you have that like isn't too important at the moment, and probably won't be important, but you can do it if you don't have anything else to do. So that will automatically fill in. It'll automatically fill in given a bunch of information, given the priority, given the date, given the status, etc., etc. That will fill in. The hours left will fill in based off of the status, and the type will fill in based off of if it has a parent task but it doesn't have any subtasks, then it is a subtask. If it has subtasks but no parent tasks, then it is a parent project. And if it has both, that means it's a sub-project, and it will fill in with all that information. And if it has neither, it will just be a to-do. And you'll see that those different options are here. So it's a to-do, it's a subtask, it's a sub-project, it's a parent project. Also, we have some more things that automatically fill in. So this is where it gets kind of complicated. If it's a parent project, so let's look at the entire capstone, we will see you'll put in the number of hours that you expect, but the number of hours that are here, so like the rolled up number of hours, will be based off of all the subtasks. So the more subtasks you add, the more hours it will be. And if you are the progress on each of those subtasks will also roll up to the progress of your parent task. So if I have 5 subtasks and each is at 50%, then the parent project itself will be 50%. But if all of them are at 0%, then the parent project itself will be at 0% progress. If half of them are at 50, the other half are at 0, then it will be at 25%, etc. But it also takes into account how many hours. So actually that proportioning was wrong. So if a subtask takes 10 hours and another takes 1 hour, it multiplies the amount of the progress by the number, by the weight, to give you the, basically you don't have to worry about it. This will automatically tell you how far you're progressing in your parent project, but that has to do with how many subtasks you have. So it won't necessarily be accurate because maybe you haven't added subtasks. So just add as many subtasks as you can that you know you're going to have to do. And the more accurate this progress bar will get. And so that's this progress has more to do, it's more interesting for a parent project than for a subtask, because the subtask, the progress is denoted here. Okay. What else? You can also see, that's most of the info that you need to know. The hours left will show you how many hours you have left based off of how much progress it is, given how many hours are total. If it's a parent project, this total will not be based off of that final number. You can change that if you want. Yeah, if you want, I'm not going to do this right now, but if you want this number to be based off of how many hours you have done versus the total number of hours that you expect, instead of how many hours you've done compared to the total rolled up parent hours, which is a sum of all the hours that the subtasks are. This is complicated. You can go in and say if type is parent project, then you can change the, if you want to change that and you know how to change that, you'll figure it out. If you want to change that, you don't know how to change that, ask me, try and explain it, but nobody's gonna follow this at this point. Okay, to recap the important information, is that you want to fill in importance, you want to fill in dates, you want to fill in status, you want to fill in subtasks, parent tasks. The rest will automatically fill in. These are for extra kind of categorizing. So I just have different categories, subject. And then another thing that you can do is you can relate it to literally almost any of your databases that you want to relate it to. I've related it to everything. So if it's related to a flight, maybe I need to buy a flight. If it's related to a pet project, if it's related to a civic project. Pet projects are just like small fun projects. For example, this is a pet project. If it's related to your capstone timeline, this is then related back to the daily database. If it's related to people, for example, this might be an email X person. All of that you can relate. And that's mostly it. Most everything else is just automatically fills in if you add those first 5 things. And then here you can see how many hours are left. So if it were just today, let's make this day today. And let's make this today. Then if we filter for is today, we'll see that I have a sum of 9 hours based off of how many hours are left. So this is how many hours I have to do. This is how many tasks I have to do. These are prioritizing. So it'll automatically show do first, prioritize first, should or get off the pot next, plan after that for a rainy day after that. And then you can also view it in different ways. So you can look at everything that I have to do. So if it contains this, you can turn this into a group and add, or priority contains prioritize. I think that's 50. Yeah. Then it will show you the things that you need to prioritize. And that's based off of a certain level of importance. Then you can also look at just like your rainy day actions. You can look at your every single thing that you have to do. It will sort by priority. You can look at it as a calendar. You can look at just your parent projects, which I like doing just to know what my main goals are. What are the big projects that I'm working on? And that's kind of it. There's one last thing, which is old, which is stuff that was made over 3 months ago that I still haven't gotten to. Over 3 months ago, or over however many months ago, to to make that happen. This is you can put in how many months ago you want it to be. So if you only want the old stuff to be stuff that's like really old, it'll be 12 months. You can also change it to like years and have that be 1 year, etc. So I'm going to keep it at months and 3 months. Just so that you're like, okay, well, this stuff I put in 3 months ago and I haven't done it yet. I'm probably never going to do it, and you can delete it. It's basically stuff like a way of showing that you're not prioritizing it, so just get rid of it if you can. Okay, that should mostly be it. Yeah. Here at the end, if you don't use this whole daily section, I added the same things here, the habit tracker, the daily expenses, as well as this week in food, which connects to the meal planner, which will show you all of the meal plans that you have for the upcoming week, not including the days that have already happened. So it'll show you if it's Tuesday, it'll show you Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or if it's Thursday, it'll show you Thursday, Friday, Saturday, until you plan the next week. Okay, that should be it.